Hello, I'm Professor Amy Smith, Curator of the Ure Museum of Greek Archaeology here at the University of Reading. The Ure Museum is the Classics Department's laboratory, where students get hands-on experience of antiquity, museums, and archives as part of their coursework, but also as volunteers or on placements, through which they learn practical aspects of work with museums and archives, as well as learning about and researching our collections. We trace the museum's history back at least 100 years. Antiquities were displayed at University College Reading, as it was called back then, from 1909, when Lady Hilda Petrie gave some of the artifacts from the excavations of her husband, Flinders Petrie. By 1914, our founding professor, Percy Ure, working with history professors, had developed a museum of history and archaeology, which contained exciting finds, even an Anglo-Saxon warrior skeleton from Lowbury Hill, now in Oxfordshire. But by 1922, that museum had split into two, and the skeletons went into the Romano-British Museum, which has since disbanded. That was the founding of the so-called Museum of Greek Archaeology, later named for Professor Ure and his wife and collaborator, Dr. Annie Dunman Hunt Ure. When in 1957, the Classics Department, along with the Faculty of Letters, moved to its current location, a building now named for Professor Edith Morley, who was Reading's and the country's first female professor, the Ure Museum got its own bespoke location at the end of the Classics corridor, and in 2005 we relaunched its current display, which provides a thematic approach to its collections of Greek and Egyptian archaeology, with, for example, a focus on the Symposion, the ritualized gathering in which democratic Athenian men famously gathered for wine, poetry, and banter. That's just one of our many cases. We take some of these and other artifacts out for handling sessions with our first-year ancient history students, although you can virtually handle some of them on your own on Sketchfab. These virtual models were actually made by our students developing their digital skills inside the museum. One of our students even created his own 3D printer, though we have a 3D printer in our lab too. 3D prints are great for outreach sessions on which students might also help. Like in Anniesbox, a project developed with Museum in a Box, whereby objects literally speak for themselves. We've also developed a research project on Cyprian religion and music around our 3D models of these figurines, who we call the votives. Anniesbox, which tells of the life and work of our founding curator, Dr. Annie Ure, resulted from the research of students on our second-year placement module and the university's Europe scheme. That means Undergraduate Research Opportunity Program. Last year's Europe, Ruth Lloyd won one of the best poster prizes for her research on Annie Ure, and even presented her research in Parliament. Our students in this year's third-year module, Pioneers of Classical Archaeology, wrote blogs on their own research into other archaeological pioneers whose correspondence is found in the Ure Museum archives. But student research takes on all manner of work: interpretation of our new acquisitions, student-led displays in connection with museum studies program, and even archaeological science. One of our 2019 undergraduate interns has now co-authored an article with me and one of our postgraduate students on an analysis of some of our smallest Greek pots. Come visit us to discover what interesting things in our collection might spark your interest and lead to new discoveries.